Today, I'm going to be going over the Seekins Precision Element. We'll go over some specs on this thing here in just a minute. Get some shooting done. Got 7 different types of ammo to shoot through it, test it out, see what it does. For reasons of transparency and the fact that I want to be honest with you, I did not purchase this rifle. I won this rifle. I was out in Lewiston, Idaho for work. I visited Seekins and CCI Spear for that matter. Seekins donated the rifle. Vortex donated the scope setup. There was a competition up at Hat Creek and I came in second place and I won this thing. That being said, that doesn't mean that this thing's going to get a free pass. It's going to get tested just like everything else I do, and we're going to see what it actually does, good, bad, or otherwise. Let's get into some specs on this thing. It weighs 5.5 pounds. It is the short action version of the Element, and as you can see, it is it's quite balanced there, right ahead of the magazine well. If it was a long action version, it would weigh 6 pounds. Starting at the barrel. Seekins makes their own barrels. On these short action Elements, they are 21 inch. They're made out of stainless steel. They're button rifled. They've got a 5/8 24 threaded muzzle on them for a suppressor or a muzzle brake. They're spiral fluted. This one is in 6.5 Creedmoor and it's got a 1 1/8 twist on it. When it comes to the action, that is all made out of 70-75 aluminum. But if you look right in there and right there, that is a stainless steel insert that the barrel sets in. It comes with a 20 MOA Picatinny rail. As you can see right there, it does have a level bubble built into it. You can see that they've got the Havoc Element engraved in the action. We've got our bolt release right there that does ride inside of a channel here in the bolt. Let's take the bolt out a second, look at that. On the bolt itself, you can see that they use a little bit of a wider bolt body, so it actually rides in the action on the body, not just on recoil lugs like a Remington 700. But you can also see that they use 4 recoil lugs on there. It's got a little bit of fluting. It has a M16 style extractor and a plunger ejector. When it comes to the back end here, they have basically a quick tear down bolt system. You just take it, turn it, firing pin and everything comes right out of your bolt body. You can then drop the pin out of here and the bolt face comes out. So I mean, that kind of works like a quick change, you know, minus the fact that the barrel itself is not a quick change barrel. To put the bolt back together, right here underneath the handle, you can see right there's the spot where that's going to index. Just slide that in, press in and turn, and you want to stop right there and that little indexing mark. If you go too far, you'll have a hard time getting that spun back over and getting that recocked. And when putting these things together, if you look right there, you just kind of see it. And then right here at the end of the tang, right there, they do bed these actions into the stocks. It came with a Trigger Tech trigger in there. Got the curved shoe model. It does accept AICS pattern mags, and it does have an aluminum mag well in it. You can see right there it does have a shim in this short action for if you've got the 308 or the 6.5. If you have the 6.5 PRC, then it will use their carbon fiber mag that they make. It's got to be just a little bit longer. The stock itself is what they call a carbon composite. So I'm assuming they must add some carbon fiber into the polymer itself. It's got very good rigidity to it. When you look here at the palm swell, I mean, it fills the hand nicely. They've got a palm swell left and right side of the gun. Looking at the bottom of the stock, they put QD attachments in the butt and up there on the forearm. There is also a regular stud up there, which I put my Harris bipod on. Now on this model, it does have an inlaid M-lock underneath that ARCA mount that's also made by Seekins Precision. If I understand right, in the future, this may be an option since so many people are using tripods while hunting anymore these days. The scope that I have on here is the Razor LHT 4.5 to 22 by 50. It is first focal plane, and it is in the proper adjustment mils. The ammo that we're going to be testing through it today, I've got the 140 and the 120 ELDMs. I wish the shop would have had 130s, that way we could have shot the full gamut of match ammo, but they were all out of those. So the other two Hornady offerings that we've got are the 143 ELDX, the 129 interlock, and we'll shoot some Nosler 140 grain ballistic tips. I've never shot any of those, so it'll be interesting to see what they do. And then move on to some Winchester power points and a 129 and the Deer Season XP and the 125. So we're going to stop all the old footage right there. We got to pump the brakes because I shot all that ammo and it really wasn't grouping very well. It shot a couple groups all right, but it really did not do well with the suppressor, without a suppressor. Like, something happened. When we were out there in Idaho, this gun was shooting really well. We were shooting this thing out to distance, and then when I got it home, I got a couple good groups, and then things fell off. So I sent the thing back in. They replaced the trigger, and they reworked the bolt head in the thing. And now, feeling it, I can tell that the cam over part is smoother. So I don't know if I got a chunk of sand in there, some dirt, some debris, whatever, and that put a burr in that bolt head, or something happened, but it was not grouping well for me. So sent it back, they reworked it, now the thing's shooting. They sent me 3 groups back, 3 shot groups, all of them looking like that, sub half MOA, using, it was I believe Federal 140 OTMs. I couldn't find any more of those because I did have to go back to the store, get some more ammunition, you know, another 200 bucks worth. So now we're going to be shooting the 140 and the 120 ELDMs, some 143 grain ELDXs. This is the 125 grain Winchester Deer Season XP, 129 grain interlock, and then I couldn't get any more of the what was it, the Nosler ballistic tip 140s. So instead, I went ahead and grabbed some Federal Premium with the Barnes TSX bullet in it, so we'll give those a try here. So let's get to shooting this thing and see what it does now. Well, as a side note for anybody that's got bought a new GoPro, if you have an older GoPro, the new ones apparently, this 12 does not fit in the phone scope adapter, so I guess I will not be showing you downrange footage. So first up, I'm going to shoot a couple of 140 grainers with no suppressor on it. Then we'll shoot a few with the suppressor on it, so we'll check that point of impact shift and even see where we're at, since I had to take the scope off to send it in, had to remount it. You know, we'll see where it's at here. is actually just right about center. Apparently we didn't move too much from taking the scope off to putting it back on. Well, those two touched. Let's throw another one in there. Whew, that was way off. It's getting hot. Next, we're going to shoot it with the suppressor on, see how much point of impact shift we get, and then kind of re-zero it, because I'm going to be shooting this with that Thunder Beast on there most of the time, so might as well shoot groups with it on. Pitch that third shot. First two are touching. I'm getting some heat distortion off the can. There we go. That one put back in that other group. One last round here. Yep, I'm liking that. That's already way better than last time. Okay, let's take a look at this here. The initial 4 shots right here on a clean barrel kind of sank itself in. There's 2 of them right there. We put the suppressor on. There's 5 shots. I kind of pulled the one there a little bit. But I think it's fouling the barrel up. So I adjusted 1 mil up. And now we're right here. That's another 5 shots. I think I probably pulled that one. But heat distortion on that can starts setting in at about 3 shots. So I don't know. Maybe I ought to back it down to 3. But we'll see. Now, we know that the 140s will shoot. Let's move on to the 120 grainers, send a few of those downrange, see what they'll do. I probably won't record all of the shooting to try to, speed things up a little bit. I am having a little bit of issues with heat distortion after shot number 3 on this Thunder Beast, but in order to try to keep some of this time length down on the video, I'm going to probably skip some of this and just show you the results of it. But here we go with some 120s. There's a little bit of heat distortion coming. Well, we made all 3 of those touch. Yeah, that's a lot of heat distortion coming off. Now, I'm going to have to get a wrap for that can. But that's a different size can than the rest of my stuff, so I don't have one for it yet. Let's take a look at these 120 grainers. The very first shot, or very first group that I did, I pitched that second one something fierce there. Otherwise, that would have been an alright group. Right there's 3 shots. And then I tried to do a 5-shot group, and then first 3 were all pretty good, and the heat distortion kind of got to that can and kind of blew that up, but it's pretty reasonable. I think we could make that ammo work too. Next one up, we're gonna have the Precision Hunter 143 grain ELDX from Hornady. Well, first one's off a ways, second 2 are touching. I must have pulled that first one or something. We'll let her cool down. All right, 3rd group of the 143 grain ELDX. There we go, 3 groups done. That last one was pretty good. Take a look at the 143s right here. My can did come loose apparently on that, but you got 2 and 1. Shot the next one here, wasn't very good, but that one I was getting a lot of heat distortion on that 3rd one. Let her cool back down, really took my time, let it cool down in between shots a little bit longer, and definitely put together a good group on that one. I did have to bring this over, adjusted the scope a little bit. I didn't want them to get off the paper just in case, so not bad. I think that gun might like that bullet. Next up, I'm gonna shoot the Federal Premium with the Barnes TSX. I'm really hoping that these 130 grainers shoot. I'd really like to I'd kind of like to use a solid copper bullet. I like the way they expand and all that, so I'm hoping that the gun likes these. Either this bullet, or if I could get some TTSXs, either one. So let's see what they do. Well, here we go on the last group of TSXs. Well, I don't know what to think about that. Let's go down and take a look. Well, let's take a look at this. Well, you got 2 here on the first one and 1 there. Second group, point of aim right here, 2 here close, a 3rd one over there. And the exact same thing, point of aim, you got 2 here and 1 stray. So that 130 grainer, I don't know what to make of that. I mean, 2 of the 3 shots seem good, and then the other ones are way out. So I don't know if maybe it's a seating depth thing, or we might have to mess with that with some hand loads, and maybe we can rein that in a little bit. I mean, 2 of the shots of every 3 show promise, but yeah, overall, I mean, we're over an inch. It's probably, you know, on the one group here, it's probably close to 2, you know, 1 3/4. That might be 1 1/4 there. So yeah, not what I was hoping with that round. So next up, the American Whitetail 129 grain interlock bullet. I did change out my suppressor. I put the Omega on there instead of that Thunder Beast. That thing doesn't seem to throw heat nearly as quickly and give me nearly as much heat distortion, so I went ahead and swapped that out. But either way, this is just to give you a reference of the accuracy. I think both of those suppressors do equally as well, really, at the end of the day. It's just the Thunder Beast is a lot lighter. Ooh, pitched the last shot on that one. Well, I just shot another 3-shot group with that, and that one was real good. So I'm going to try shooting a 5-shot group with it this time. It's a little bit cooler out this morning, a little more breeze, helping cool the gun and the can down. So I'm going to try for a proper group of 5. I mean, granted, this is a hunting rifle, you know, for that matter, kind of an ultra lightweight hunting rifle. You know, it really is more realistic to just shoot 3, but we're going to push it and do 5 anyway. And that group fell apart. So let's take a look at the 129 grain Hornady American Whitetail. So there was my first 3-shot group. Nice cold barrel. Really sunk them in there nice. And I went to that one there. That's a different group. Those 3. First 2, third one kind of pulled it. And I tried my 5-shot group. The gun was still a little warm. Then I decided to try kind of a torture test on there. And again, first 3 right in there. After that, heat distortion off that can just, I think, made that thing walk all over. I didn't shoot that 10-shot group real fast, but, you know, they were pseudo-consecutive. It definitely got warm. So the next ammunition up is the Winchester Deer Season XP. They are a 125 grainer. I've already shot one group with it, and the camera failed to record it. So this is actually going to be the second group of 3. Here we are. Alright, last group of these 125s. We'll go down, take a look, see what we did. Yeah, it's about 3/4 to 1 MOA, so let's go down and take a look. Let's take a look at our 125 deer seasons. There was the first group, 2 to touch, and one right there, it's about an MOA. This one here, I might have pulled that one. Those 2 are pretty close. And the third group, that's just under an MOA, so that ammunition would work too. Next up, I've only got 4 of these Winchester 129 grain power points, but we'll shoot them up anyway, see what they do. A heck of a 3-shot group going there so far. See if number 4 and 5 doesn't just blow this out. Nope, I forgot. Only number 4. There was no number 5. Let's go down and take a look at that. So there's our 4-shot group. Those first 3 were really hanging in there. And by that 4th shot, I was getting some heat distortion, and that was probably me. But them first 3, that was really looked good on there. Point of aim was right here, so some of these definitely shift around from brand to brand on point of impact. Here are a couple of the groups that they sent with it, that they test fired it after fixing it, so they look pretty good. I wish I could have found some of that Federal Gold Medal match 140 grainers, but the store didn't have any of that. So my final thoughts on the Seekins Element. I like it. It is definitely a lightweight gun. I think it's going to be a good hunting rifle. I mean, it is a little bit harder to shoot just because it is just that light. I mean, the thing weighs nothing. Your input on it can definitely change point of impact. I mean, that's for sure. I tend to be a little bit heavy-headed and lean my cheek into it because I want to get my head, you know, you kind of got to go light on it, but you need to, whatever you do, you need to be consistent. That way it's placing shots where it needs to be. Overall, I mean, I've got a 5-round PMag and a MDT 5-round mag. Both of them seem to feed and function just fine out of the rifle. Overall, I mean, the majority of the ammunition shot fairly well through it. I mean, I had a couple of favorites that definitely, you know, shot some one-hole groups with it. I think with some hand loading, we'll definitely kind of bring those groups in just a little bit. I'm really hoping to get, I'm going to grab some Barnes TTSXs and reload for this thing, and I'm really hoping that I can get those to really sink in, make some nice groups, probably make video on that. I'll say really my only complaint is that being such a lightweight rifle, it does heat up so fast. 3-shot groups do well. 5-shot groups with heat distortion coming off the can, that's where it starts to definitely affect it. You try to go more than that and you're just kind of getting blowed out with a little bit of mirage off of the barrel and off of the can. Even if you take the can off, you're still getting it. I mean, with a lot of these rounds, even 5 shots, I mean, you touch that barrel, it's getting hot. This thing is very thin. With the Pro Hunter 2, that's where you get a little heavier barrel profile, and I think on those, the 5-shot groups definitely, it helps dissipate that heat a lot more. One of the other things I'll say about the grip on it, if I actually grip this rifle, I feel like I tend to misplace my finger a little bit. I kind of got to back off, but everybody's hands are a little bit different sized, you know, stuff like that. I might build that up just a little bit more, get my finger placement just right. That way I can grip down into that just a little bit better. But it really is a nice rifle, and I got to definitely say, again, thank you to Seekins and Vortex. I mean, this was a heck of a prize that I won during that match. Hopefully I can go out and shoot a lot of deer, antelope, whatever with this thing, and it'll be great. I've also got to kind of give it to Seekins too. When I was having issues with this thing the first time around, I mean, I sent this thing in, I believe it was on the 9th, and I had it back by, what was it, the 28th or something like that. I mean, they really did get this thing into the shop fast, got it figured out, you know, swapped up that bolt head and changed the trigger. I never noticed anything wrong with the trigger. It was firing just fine, but I guess something that they found, but they took care of me. I mean, especially on something that, you know, I won for free. They really didn't have to do much for me. I'm sure guys call in all the time, say they're not getting good groups out of their rifles, but, you know, I sent it in there. They took care of me. I got to thank them for that. It was a real short order. They got it back to me. Go here. I want to thank all you guys for watching. Hit that thumbs up button for me. It definitely does help in the algorithm. Get these videos pushed forward. Hopefully you like what you saw today. I got a bunch of stuff in the works. In fact, about so much, I don't know what I ought to do first between reloading, building those couple of soulless actions that I got, which way I even ought to go with those, deliberating on making one hunting rifle and one target rifle. Yeah, there's so many options. I don't know what to do with that. Messing with I got that whole other upper and lower on an AR platform, whether I ought to go with a 5.56 18-incher on that, or whether I'm kind of throwing around that new 22 arc. Maybe I ought to do something on that. But thanks for watching. Hopefully we'll see you on the next one.